Hello, y'all. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to dive into what they're not telling you. We're going to look at some secrets that are being kept from you in this situation, and we're going to shine a glaring, bright spotlight on those spaces. Really quick before we get into it, y'all, I am 11 subscribers away from reaching the first tier of monetization on YouTube, and I've been on YouTube for since March 5th on this channel, which is just insane to me. I cannot thank y'all enough for the support that you provide me each day with your comments and the likes that you provide the videos. Y'all are helping this channel grow far more than you know, and I just love that you're here. I appreciate your support so much. It means a lot to me. Which reminds me, this morning I was sitting down, and when I sit down, I like to, in the mornings, I like to write, and I like to gather sort of inspiration for the day or wisdom for the day. Sometimes I'll read things, or I'll find quotes, or I'll write down sort of messages that come flooding in the mornings. And this morning I was reminded of the ways in which we prosper and grow through validation and positive reinforcement. And I was reminded of when I first started my business, and what helped me and what catapulted my business was realistically other people's approval of it. Sometimes we are in this space of sort of, I think we all do this, is sort of, we do this thing where we kind of want to be liked. We seek this validation in that what we're doing is well received, or that who we are is well received. And I remember that I always got compliments on sort of the artistic side of me, the things that I would do creatively with my hands, artwork and things like that really received a lot of good attention. And so I would continue to do those things based on those validation hits. It was sort of a sense of, in some capacity, it could have been a dopamine hit, realistically. So looking at this channel, I think what has motivated me to sit down here each day and to be active on this channel has really been all the positive messages that have been coming in. So I think honestly what has become the most rewarding part of my day has been reading your comments. And it's interesting because there aren't a whole lot of people outside of you in this community who even know that I'm doing this. I've kept it under wraps. I've kept it pretty hidden. I mean, there are some people who do know about it now, but it's few and far between. The majority of people in my community don't know that this is something that I'm doing. Many people within my friend groups, I would say more acquaintance groups, don't know. My closest friends know. And I even kept this hidden from family members until last week, I was so shocked because I had a certain number of subscribers and views in a 24-hour period that just shook me, and I had to tell somebody. But I didn't share with them the name of the channel. I just told them about what happened, and they didn't ask for the name of the channel either. So it helped me in keeping it sort of to myself. And that's another hit as well, is that sometimes knowing who we can communicate what to is so important. Knowing who we can go to for advice is important. Knowing who is on our hype team and who really is just seeking information to utilize against us is a really important thing as well. And so anyway, with this whole, we're kind of just coming out of this full moon energy. There was a full moon in Libra. It was pretty heavy energy in the last couple days, where I feel like our shadows have been a little bit illuminated. And in the, I guess, sometimes my brain doesn't want to think of words for some reason. I don't know why we do this to ourselves, but in the in lieu of thank you, brain, for coming to the table with us, in lieu of illuminating things that are unseen, like the things within our shadow, I had saw a subscriber talking about secrets revealed, and I was like, that would be this would be the perfect time to do that, because this is when they're probably really fixated on the secrets that they aren't telling you. And so it's going to be a great time to tap into that energy. So here we are, and we have group 1, group 2, and group 3. I feel as though these have been up long enough. I don't know if you even remained through the intro, but if you're still here, let's go ahead and tap right into group 1. Hello, group 1. If you skipped over the intro, I talked about how we are currently coming out of a full moon eclipse, which is pretty impactful. And a part of that is having sort of the shadow aspects of ourselves illuminated. And I had a subscriber who had said, oh, let's do a Secrets Revealed reading. And I was like, ooh, okay, I like that. And I thought, the perfect time to do that would actually be now, because right now there's so much being illuminated into that shadow aspect. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap into your person and the reason that you came here, or this situation if you're not here for a person, although I think I'm going to title it as what are they keeping from you. So I feel like we're here for a person. And we're going to figure out how they feel and what they're hiding from you. I do want to say that one thing I feel like your person is hiding from you in this moment is that they're trying to stay strong. It seems as though there is there's some kind of separation going on here. And that within this, they're just trying to hold it together. They're trying to be strong. And then the interesting thing that they could also, if this vessel becomes unshaky, another aspect that could be illuminated here is that it feels very unstable to be in this space. This person is in a space of protecting themselves, and I think that's something that they don't really want you to know. I think that maybe on the surface it's I wouldn't even say there's very much communication going on. I feel like this is a period of separation. But I think that what you don't see and what you don't know is that within this separation, they are really feeling as though they need to sort of protect their peace, and they're just trying to remain strong through that. Not even protect their peace, but protect, it's like they have this armor around them that doesn't really allow people in very easily. And they can come off very almost cold, rather than maybe coming off as somebody who is hiding fears within themselves. Okay, so let's get into what secrets is group 1's person keeping from them, please. What secret is group 1's person keeping from them? Are we just going to throw all these out? Okay. Secrets that they're keeping from group 1. The interesting thing is that if you are not communicating, they're still being loyal to you in this process. Okay, so I have here and now in the reverse. So they may be fixated on something that happened in the past. There could be something that occurred between the two of you that they're kind of ruminating on, and especially in this energy, in this moment, they're really reflecting back on that and sort of dissecting and looking at things and trying to figure out really what happened here and what steps were taken to get us in this space. They are giving this sort of energy of, it's interesting that while they're trying to remain strong, the part of the reason that they are also sort of teetering between this instability and this ability to remain strong is because they're dwelling on this. They're thinking about this sort of a lot. So they're just, it's sort of going through the same scenario and kind of dissecting it and then going through it again and dissecting it. But the interesting thing is that I get this feeling that but by doing this, they are learning something from this. Something about this experience that they had with you, they're beginning to sort of, it's their awareness that is kind of expanding on what happened here. There is some sense of them feeling abandoned by you, and but also it's weird because there's this sort of duality here where they feel they abandoned you. So they're trying to really decipher why there was this disconnect there. But I think the biggest thing that they're keeping from you realistically is that during all this, they're fixated on you. They're loyal, I guess, is more so that even if they are entertaining other people, it's like, it's sort of this vibe, honestly, group one, that if they were entertaining other people, it would be as though they were just kind of sitting in this space going, man, they were just comparing those people to you. So they're in this like sort of comparative energy that's anyone who isn't you is kind of just being compared to you. So there is this comparison scenario, and there is sort of this guilt surrounding abandonment. Now, I don't know if it is guilty that they put themselves in a position that they were abandoned, or guilty that they abandoned you. And sometimes I feel like it's more so that a lot of times we don't want to see how our actions and behavior are abandoning in sort of in the moment. So while someone is kind of being this aloof or inconsistent or non-committal vibe where they just really are not giving too much, if anything, into a situation out of fear, or if sometimes it's not even necessarily, well, it is all fear-based. Let's get down to brass tacks. But sometimes it's also feeling like they don't have what you need. And so there is this sense here of there's some kind of an abandonment wound that has really been sort of illuminated within this connection, that is something that is coming up for them sort of in these cycles of dwelling. They're definitely somebody who thinks quite a bit, and there may be somebody who maybe doesn't outwardly express so much of how they're feeling, but internally they are ruminating in this connection. It is on the forefront of their mind often. Train confirmation. Sometimes I think I need to get down with the train cycle and be like, should I be doing a reading when the train's gonna come through? Maybe not. It might not be a bad idea. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the tarot reading on, I'm actually gonna set this aside, on what secrets are being revealed for you. I'm being called to do this standard Rider Waite here. So that's what we're gonna start with. Goodness, okay. Y'all, are we done? I think we're done. Okay. Okay. So the train has come through. Okay, what secrets? Oh, okay. I think one secret, group one, is that they are currently manifesting some kind of something with you. I don't know what yet. We'll figure out. what it is this guy wanted to come out. You know, group one, they have a lot of faith in this, actually. Maybe not. You spoke too soon. That King of Pentacles come out in the reverse. Like, I'm not ready. Don't lie to her. Or him. Okay. Sorry. Okay. One more for the top row for group one, please. What secrets is this person keeping from group one, please? Okay. And then clarify the Magician. So it's kind of like they're wanting to undo this moment of separation where someone walked away from this. Okay, clarify that King of Pentacles in the reverse, please. Almost there, y'all. I'm going to just do this King of Wands here because that actually makes a lot of sense. I'll get to it. And then clarify this Knight of Swords in the reverse, please. This guy. Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. And I'm just going to bring these out also from the bottom of the deck. We have the Two of Swords in the reverse, the Page of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. And also, hold up. I just want to bring this guy out too because we have the Eight of Wands. Okay. All right, group one. Secrets that are being revealed from you. And we're just going to go like left to right. So the first thing is that they're trying to manifest this sort of new beginning with you. The one thing that they're keeping from you is that sort of all of these kind of dwelling thoughts, whether they're even conscious of it or not, just consistently thinking about somebody is going to manifest something with that person. It is law, you know, because what we think about, we bring about. Your person may honestly have a bit of an awareness on this. If you have an awareness on that and you're tapping into this, you could have maybe expressed this to them and they're kind of waking up to that being like, oh, you know what? Actually, I have kind of manifested certain things into my life by the way that I'm thinking about it. So they're kind of working on this. So there's one element of that is that something that you said to them really taught them something very powerful about themselves. Or about, not even about themselves, like just about how life kind of operates more so, that they learned something from you or by being in this space with you or having a connection with you that they're now utilizing to sort of manifest this new beginning. What they're doing this work on is that they're in balance with being able to give into themselves. So this is somebody that sort of, I feel like when you were kind of dealing with this person, they were somebody who maybe gave themselves to a little bit to everybody kind of person, or they really kind of enjoyed and not, I don't know if enjoyed is the right word, but they sought validation no matter where it was, sort of like seeking validation in people and not really being able to sit with themselves a whole lot, honestly. So being in this space where they were kind of just seeking attention almost, but more so as a distraction from having to face anything about themselves. And now they're in the space of sort of looking at that and looking at all the spaces in which they had sort of been in this space of sort of overgiving in spaces that there wasn't, the only real reciprocity was that they felt better about themselves. And there's also this little hit of seeing that as a bit selfish, which is good. That's a good thing for them to be ruminating on, honestly. So they're doing the work on that. So this connection, this sort of pivoting and stepping away from, recognizing that, because what it feels like here is that this was something that it's almost as though you have already kind of been in this space of having repeating these cycles within these certain types of connections, and you've built an awareness on this. And so once you kind of recognize that this was another connection that sort of felt like a test almost, or came in with this same kind of repetitive energy, it was like, it was a pivot and going, I'm just, I no. Just no. um Another secret that there is here is that they're feeling really okay. They feel like you are like, okay, there's this sense of ownership here, but it's not, I don't think it's, there's a little bit of a nervousness attached to it. Okay, so they're kind of worried that someone's going to come swoop in and sort of give you what they feel that they haven't been able to give you. There is some kind of nervousness surrounding that, okay? But also, your person does have some of their own confidence, and they're very in this space of they don't really feel like, I mean, one kind of thing that maybe you don't know is that they don't really feel like they have competition, group one. I don't know how much of that is their ego or how much of that is arrogant, because, I mean, you did walk away from this, so maybe they need to be a little bit more aware of that. But you could have walked away. You know, sometimes I think that, what is that saying? If you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours, right? I feel like sometimes we may have a lot of care for somebody, but we just know that the cycle that they're in currently is something that we can't handle, or that is maybe triggering for us, or is going to kind of take us backwards. And so we can love then from a distance, and hope for the best. And all people are capable of A, forgiveness, and B, change. So with those two things being, you know, two sort of possibilities within our future, there's always a possibility that some people can work through their individual quote unquote flaws. I don't even think they're flaws. I think they're just parts of ourselves that are, that have been sort of moving in this fear-based system. But all of us are capable of shedding light on those and sort of dissecting them, and dissecting our own patterns of behavior, and being able to pivot into a new pattern and a new cycle of, and getting out of sort of these more sort of trauma-based responses, right? But there is this sort of hit with this person, is they really do see you as their person. They see you as theirs. There's very like a mine energy surrounding this person, and I don't feel like this is something that you even know, but man, they're like this that is my person. And it's interesting because they're sort of, one aspect of the cycle that they're in, that I don't even know if this is a secret. I think this is a secret even to them, honestly. One aspect of the cycle that they're in is sort of, they are in this energy, okay, of not feeling good enough, or it's not even not feeling good enough. It's impatience. It's like they want what they want right now so that they can then move to the next step, but they're putting a lot of, what's the right, anxiety, like they're putting anxiousness into it. And so, hello, law of attraction. This is universal law. We got to get down on this. We have to get down on the fact that energetic alignment is the real deal. And you know how I explain, let me just pivot this for 1 second. You know how I explain the law of attraction and why, and the energetic alignment? Think about the placebo, okay? If I give you a pill and I tell you that it does this and there's nothing in it, but if you believe that it does that, then it ends up fixing that ailment within you. That is not without purpose, and that's exactly how energetic alignment works. So if we can put it into those sort of mindsets, then we can start kind of getting down with this reality that energetic alignment is real. So your person being in this anxious state, well, the reason that they're not moving forward realistically is because they're putting out, please give me more to be anxious about. I just want to notate really quick because I saw this little box elder bug sort of coming in here for the reading. Hello. Just in case someone sees that and they're like, what is that little bug doing? We live in between like 3 cornfields, or we're just completely surrounded in cornfields, actually, in a very, very, very small town. And we have box elder bugs like all over the town, and it's the thing that the people in the community chat are like, are you having a box elder bug problem? And I don't know if there's something that we're supposed to do about it necessarily. I don't know if I'm supposed to mind them or not, but anyway, this guy's here and he wants to be a part of the reading too. So if anyone's wondering why there's a bug on my tarot deck, that is why. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, they're in this space of just, they have so much passion for you. That's another thing that is sort of here beneath the surface, is they're so attracted to you. They're so, this is, I don't know what I can say and what I can't say to keep this video in a safe place, but let's just say, okay, how can we word this? They think about you in a very specific way. Okay, use your imagination. So they, yeah, something that they maybe haven't told you, and because I really do feel like this person hasn't been very forthcoming with communication at all. It's very interesting because these are here and these are here. It's sort of like, sometimes this Ace of Cups reminds me of something very like, is like a climax. Y'all on board? Are we on board together? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. So it's interesting that up here in the next to the unstable king is sort of this absence of communication, and this absence of truth, and this absence of bringing in sort of any kind of messages, and sort of but what's developing even more quickly for them is this passion, and it's also I feel like there's been several peak moments with your name on it. Okay? Okay. Okay. Something else that they're not telling you is that there could have been something, or they're having sort of faith in this moment. They're really putting in hope that something here is going to work out. However, there is this little hint of indecisiveness about this person. They could be, there's there's so many placements realistically that can be indecisive. So let's not get into the zodiac, but they could just have sort of this, because they're a bit more of an analytical kind of person, they could sort of think themselves into different thoughts, or they could be somebody who's not great at forming their own perspectives and opinions, and they could sort of seek advice, but they might not have a good support system around them. So the advice that they're seeking is from people who aren't doing anything and that realistically cannot give them solid advice on, it's kind of going to somebody who has relationship problems and doesn't love their spouse and asking them how to be a better partner. You know what I mean? It's kind of like not having the greatest support system around them to communicate with, and so being given advice that really throws them off balance. And then hopefully they're building awareness that it feels like your person is often like in these groups where they're kind of the smartest person in the room, and so there is this little element too that they're in the wrong space, that they need a better environment around them. I don't think that's necessarily a secret to you, but anyway, it just feels worth mentioning, I guess. But they do what's sort of here being illuminated underneath all of this, because this is the bottom of the deck thing with this Page of Pentacles, is that they do want to, like, they really want to bring in some stability into this connection, but they're in this very isolated moment. It's sort of being in this space of like hermit mode and working on ourselves, and this is sort of everything that's going on in this sort of underworld and underbelly of the things that they're not communicating. Okay. All right. Let's you know what we should do? Like, I feel like a good one would be What would they say to you if they could say something to you? I guess. Oh, you're great with words. I just saw Jafar, he's our man. If he can't do it, nobody can. Like, you know how like anticlimactic like our genie was because he had to like support Jafar. That's how I just felt. Okay, anyway. Oh, what would this person say to group one if they had the balls to say it? Let's word it that way. How about that? I wish I could understand you. I want to be different. It is all too much. I'm afraid to lose you. And I feel lonely on the bottom of the deck. You know, something that happens, well, this happens in every connection, realistically. Every connection that has these issues is about communicating how we feel authentically. But more so than that, it's about being understood and being in a space of comprehension. Sometimes when we're in our own head, we can look at these people and their behaviors and how they're sort of non-communicative, right? And we could get offended by that or even feel like they don't care, but really it's just they're so fearful of saying how they feel. And it's kind of being in this space of requiring patience. And I do feel group one that there could have been a moment where you maybe actually understood this about this person, but kind of realized that it wasn't your, what do I want to say, not my circus, not my monkeys kind of vibe, where it was like, well, I can't really do anything about that. I can't make this person be open with me or be honest with me. And right now what they're doing is really hurting this situation more than helping it. And so kind of being in this space of going, okay, I gotta pivot away from this. And because unfortunately, if we wait around for someone to change, they very well could never change. And then if we are in a space of sort of validating poor behaviors, then those behaviors are even less likely to change because positive reinforcement is very effective. So if they're being reinforced that what they're doing is totally okay, well, they have less of a oomph or will to change. All right. I'm going to get you some of these message oracle cards on one more on what they're not telling you, and then we'll close out this reading for you, group one. All right. What is group one's person not telling them? Got a secret? Can you keep it? Well, this one you'll save. Better lock it in your pocket. Keeping this one for the grave. Okay. Sorry. Squirrel moments. Well, quite a bit that they're not telling you. Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. They see you as an angel. That's one thing they're not telling you. They see you as sort of this light in their life, even if they're not communicating this to you. You came into their life and you sort of, I don't even know if you're aware of this, but you shed light on something that has been ruminating on them as a problem in their life for a very long time. And they're really beginning to see now how this has affected all of their previous relationships. So you came in and were like, you must have behaved in a way that they weren't anticipating almost. It's like they had sort of this expectation that, okay, things are going to go this certain way because that's how it's always gone in the past when they've been sort of in these romantic spaces. And then you came in and was like, no, baby, we're in the healthy era. We're going to do things in a healthy way. So you go work on that. I'm gonna go work on me, or kind of vibe. I don't think it was immediate. I think it was sort of, we allowed it for a moment, and then we kind of we like had this hit of awareness, and we're like, no, I think I'm gonna step out of that cycle. They are, another thing that they're not informing you of is that they're very protective of you. So if you know people or you know the same people, they would be somebody who would defend you, and they're very protective, not just of you, but of the relationship they have with you and the way that they feel about you. They aren't really looking at you with a whole lot of animosity, which is wonderful. It's a really wonderful space to be in when someone can be in a disconnect from a situation and send love to the other person. It's very, very twin flamey vibes, not gonna lie. Okay, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but you know, it kind of is. But you know, I actually, let's go down the rabbit hole, because I think that one thing that needs to be discussed about this whole twin flame journey is that there are a lot of people right now that are utilizing sort of the idea that emotional abuse is a twin flame connection, and that's scary. That would be more like a false twin flame, because realistically, how the twin flame journey works in sort of the folklore of this connection, and we can kind of use our own discernment whether we want to buy into it or not. But how it works is that when you go through these disconnect phases, you never send ill will to the other person. One of the things that makes it so unique is that in the past, when you had experienced sort of these similar situations, it made you really resentful and made you really angry and made you behave really as at your worst, right? But in these connections, when this triggering happens, it illuminates self and the things that we need to work on, and then it sends compassion towards the other person. So that's a much different territory, and that is the territory at least that this person has towards you. And then what else do we have here? The past. There is something too that they are they're just sort of we were mouth, brain, connect, please. Okay, we already went over sorry, we already went over this sort of these cycles, right, that they're kind of ruminating on in the past. So I think that's just confirming again is that they've been sort of looking at, if you don't think that they care about this connection or they're not thinking about it, oh, they are. They're thinking about it, and they're kind of ruminating on the past and what happened, and making changes, honestly, by sort of mistakes that happen in the past. And I also have here the spectrum. And this one says, I root out and reject prejudice in myself and others. So but also when I see this spectrum, I feel like they're looking at this sort of in an all-encompassing space. And again, it's a very protective space. So I don't feel that if they're going through this, they're going through it very internally. I don't think they're kind of allowing too many people into this. There may have been a moment where they did allow other people into this, and that really messed things up, and they're kind of aware of how influential they became in a certain space. And that may have been something that was, you know, a shared kind of experience there, that there were like some sort of external influence that kind of came in, and we made decisions based on sort of either what someone else told us to do or some kind of experience that didn't have much to do with this connection. Okay, group one, that is your reading on what secrets are being kept from you within this connection. If you resonated with this, please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment down below. Any amount of support that you provide me in this moment or any moment is crucial and beneficial for the growth of my channel. Thank you so very much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. I almost said namaste at the end of that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste. I don't know. I don't ever say namaste, but namaste, group one. Got a secret, can you keep it? Well, this one you'll say. Better lock it in your pocket, taking this one to the grave. Hello, group 2. Let's get the dirt on your person. I feel like, you know what is interesting, group 2, is I feel like y'all sat down like, yes, tell me about this mother trucker. That's kind of like the vibe, is that somebody, you want to know the dirt on this person. And we're going to provide that to you. All right, so if you skipped over the intro, we are coming out of this full moon eclipse, lunar eclipse, and within that there's a lot of energy being illuminated within our shadow. And one of my subscribers said, can you do a secrets revealed reading? And I thought, ooh, you know what, that would be perfect in this moon energy, because oftentimes in full moon energy and in these sort of lunar eclipse moments is a lot of sort of illumination on the shadow, illumination on the unknown and the unseen. So I thought, ooh, I bet they're kind of ruminating in this energy right now, and this would be the perfect time to tap into what your person isn't telling you. So let's go ahead and tap into group 2's person's energy. And maybe protect me through this, please. You're instantly. Okay, so group 2, your person is very disconnected from their crown. I get like all of a sudden my crown chakra is like, it's like itchy. It's like we need to do something up here. We need to have a little bit more faith. We need to surrender a little bit more. Your person could spend a lot of time sort of swimming in a lower vibration. Excuse me. Okay. I was going to say something and then my throat just like completely caught me. And they could really have issues in communicating. But here's the one thing. Okay, so I want to try to explain these energetic shifts for you, okay? When you're around somebody that has this sort of lower vibration and is kind of down in those lower energies, it feels weighted down. It kind of brings you down into it. And so I was up in a certain energy in group 1, and then when I came into group 2 to connect into your person, the energy dropped down. So we're in a little bit lower vibrational field within your person. Group 2, don't shoot the messenger, but I am being informed to explain to you that what we project, we connect to. Energy flows where energy goes. So if they're in this energy and you're tapping into it, they pull you into this energy with them in sort of a vibrational match. Okay. What are they keeping from you? So we have the crone coming out. The one thing that I want to say about your person that I feel like they're keeping from you is they're very calculated. They're very intuitive. They're very patient. Well, I don't know. They're patient when it comes to if they're sort of getting, if things are kind of going in the way that they had planned. You know what, y'all? I just got a hit of. I don't know if you guys are gonna know this. I don't know the demographic that listens to this. I don't think is in this collective that would resonate into this, but there is a small portion of you that will. Do y'all remember Pinky and the Brain? And you know how every day Pinky's like, what are we gonna do today, Brain? And Brain's like, we're gonna take over the world. And it's like your person has Brain's sort of energy to them, where it's like this, it's delusional, like delusional vindictiveness in a way, where they are it's giving very Dunning-Kruger vibes, honestly. So Dunning-Kruger is the opposite of imposter syndrome. Dunning-Kruger is basically where we just think that we're amazing, but we haven't done anything to show for it. And there's a lot of ego in this person. Now, the interesting thing is some of their ego is because they're not wrong. They are intuitive. They are tapped in. They're a deep empath, but they're a darker empath. Okay, so they've spent a lot of time in sort of the underworld and the underbelly of sort of the more common energetic alignments that occur within societal systems. Okay, so they're in kind of the muck of that, or they've spent quite a bit of time there. And it's almost as though internally this person is really intelligent. They operate so systematic. Like the moves that they make are very strategic. Very intelligent person. Now, if they get off balance, they can be real bitter and real vindictive. So if you've been in a space with this person and you've thought, you've kind of been like, are they doing this on purpose? There's a big possibility that they have. Oh, I just love being the messenger of this collective. Thank you so much, Spirit. Oh, y'all. You know why you know what? Let me explain to you, Group 2, why I'm the messenger within this collective. Because I spent 7 years of my life with an energy exactly like this one. So, and I am also an intuitive and also clairsentient as an energy reader, and also internally very analytical and capable of recognizing pattern behavior. So I spent a very long time dissecting this energy and trying to understand it. So here we are. You know what's interesting is I get this hit that your person would be flattered that there are some people that understand them. They're so egotistical. Oh, all right. Let's go underneath this bad boy's ego and see what they really think. Secrets. Oh yeah, exactly. That's why they're so afraid of this commitment here. One thing that they don't want you to know is they really do see you as their person. They see you as their counterpart. And I'm just going to tell you right now, group, what is there a siren going off for? Is there a tornado? That's interesting. I don't know. Well, hopefully we don't end up on the other side of the rainbow visiting the Wizard of Oz today. I don't know what I don't know what that's about. We'll find out. I live in the Midwest. We don't really care about tornadoes until they're right in front of us, so it's all right. Anyway, okay. Let's knock on wood, because let's not say those things. So we're in a very specific energy right now. Okay. Anyway, so what I was going to say is they're scared shitless about the fact that they feel this way. They're okay. And one element that I don't think that they're losing control. They're very controlling, first of all. And this is something that I don't know yet if they might be aware of it. But they're losing control of that, and they're off balance in this moment, and I don't think they want you to know that. What else is this person hiding from Group 2? What's in their shadow? Honestly, okay, we're aware. We have been warned. Enough. kind of creepy a little bit, ain't it? Don't you like that there are like warning signals going off in your group reading collective too? Isn't that awesome? Okay. And then another thing that they don't want you to know is that they are ruminating in the past. They are constantly in this space of dwelling on the past. In a lot of ways, actually, I don't think it has everything to do with just you. But they might be kind of moving out of this a little bit. One thing that they are keeping from you is that there may be something about this cycle, this repeated patterns that they're learning. And kind of finally sort of seeing some goodness. I can't with that. How can I channel with that? Just incessantly in the background. Are we done yet? What does the system mean? You know, I should probably look into this. Like, what are these various systems? My goodness. Are we done? Should I be scared right now? Okay, anyway. Okay. What is group 2's person keeping from them? Goodness, just all of the things. They're not happy. They don't feel good about this. They, yeah, I feel like first of all, I feel like this person really isn't communicative at all. And so I don't think that they've really been communicating a whole lot about what it is they are realistically feeling in this situation, but it's definitely thrown them way off balance. It's, in fact, the only thing that they do know is that they see you as a counterpart. Everything else is sort of in the imbalance within this person, which is really interesting. I'm gonna have to edit this video. Hold on, I'll be back. You know what, group 2, I'm just going to give you a timestamp on when to come back to this. So, there. I'll kind of put it in the space. Because I cannot stand editing videos. I'm a wedding photographer and I edit lots of pictures. I do graphic design work for another company. And so editing is like kind of always in the forefront. Okay. But I'm sorry, I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, I can hold it. And I was sitting there thinking that I could hold it. And then I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to hold that through this whole reading. I still have a lot to do here. It's interesting that, okay, group 2, there seems to be a whole lot kind of distracting me in this energy. There's a whole lot coming in that's like, really demanding of my attention, I'm going to say. So there's something about this energy that is very, it's sort of like it's kind of like an energetic vampire in a way, is that this is someone who just like takes and takes and takes. And I don't necessarily know if they're aware of this, but it's definitely something that comes into this energy, is that it's very draining. Very draining. Okay. Let's get into what is group two's person keeping from them. Are we going to do this one? Okay. Sorry, I was trying to get it. This one? This one's like, no, don't use me. All right. You know what? I put this guy aside. This is my original standard Rider-Waite deck, and when I put this aside, I got this hit that it was like, no, I need to stay out. Now I know why. All right. What is group two's person hiding from them? They're unstable. I don't really think it's very hidden that they're not coming towards you. They're just feeling so out of balance. They're feeling like they're sort of, I don't think they're used to somebody who kind of puts them in their place a little bit. All right, clarify this Ace of Pentacles. Oh, man. We're dropping things. Clarify the Chariot in reverse. And the Emperor in reverse. Clarify the Knight of Wands. And clarify the King of Pentacles. Interesting. Bottom of the deck. I'm just going to bust out this little guy here too. Give you a full reading. Okay. All right, group two, we're going to read left to right. I apologize for that break. It's kind of bothering me that I just did that. I might just edit it out. I don't know. We'll see. Will I? I don't know. I might. Okay. Okay. So what they're not telling you is they're really unstable about what's making them feel unstable is that they realize sort of that this was a fulfilling space, that I think they just really made really poor choices in this connection with you, but they did it in such a self-motivated way that realistically, group two, it's almost like they're not really feeling, they're not fully feeling that in this space because they realistically feel like this is all on them. But it's more of a space of they're not getting what they want. And so they are upset about that is kind of the vibe. Because even though they don't want, it's interesting because even though they don't want this to end, they don't want to do anything. They also don't want to rush towards it. They don't want to be the one that has to do any work here. They don't want to be the one that has to come back and sort of start things over. That they're really in that space of not wanting to be the one who's kind of, I guess, chasing. They would rather be in a running sort of status because they feel that there's power there. Interestingly enough, though, I do have the Emperor at the center of the deck underneath that with the Eight of Pentacles. So something they are working on is sort of that they would like to work on, or that they're not kind of informing you, is that there is some little hit that they are building into some kind of an awareness a little bit. It's not a huge awareness. It hasn't been completely illuminated, but it's sort of at these like beginning steps of being able to see where they are out of balance. However, it's interesting because there's one thing about this person's perspective that I feel is really connected to sort of the physical space of physical connection and feeling kind of control over that space of being in this sort of physical, intimate relationship with somebody and having that be a way of kind of an in for them, is what how they see it, is if they could just get you in that space, they could get us, they could get you, us, I don't know why I said us like that, they could get you out of the space of heartache. So again, it's like really calculated still. And it's interesting because underneath this King of Pentacles is sort of this, it's kind of a facade, because underneath of it is the Five of Pentacles, as sort of clarifying the King of Pentacles. And so from my perspective, that is somebody who would love to be the King of Pentacles. And also, I just want to notice that the Page of Pentacles is over this, and all of these are kind of together here, is that it's sort of, it's like this person really wants to come off as though there's sort of this ultimate stability and they're the perfect partner and they have this sort of grounded, abundant energy, but realistically it's they require so much in order to be in the same space with them, that it's all sort of in their ego. It's very egotistical. It's so much ego. And it's not even like, some of it, group 2, is not even, what do I want to say here? It isn't even founded. It's unfounded. It's like they have this ego that doesn't even match the reality. They're so delusional about some element of themselves that that really needs illuminated. Because they look at themselves as though they're just so superior, and I feel like even other people don't see them that way. So it's like, how did they end up in this space? Because they are somebody who honestly comes off very much like they probably are not really, it's almost as though they've been so kind of rejected that they have built this sort of interior world within self, of where they have really built themselves up in a space inside their mind, and through and essentially through their ability to sort of strategize connections and to sort of play with other people's emotions, that has given them sort of honestly like a god complex. And ooh, but realistically, like, they have so little to offer in this moment. It's very interesting. They're very self-indulgent. Wow, are we just gonna go in on it? This damn group 2 collective, I swear, y'all, you're killing me here. Did you need confirmation that this person is got some issues? Well, ding, 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 here we are. You're welcome. Oh my goodness. And so it's another thing is that they another secret, I guess, that's kind of being revealed here, is that they don't really, in this moment, they don't have the ability to communicate. If they were, here's the thing. I feel like if they were to communicate authentically, they know that it would make them seem like a really bad person. So they have sort of this awareness that their behaviors are really, dare I say, toxic. So they're aware of this. They have this sort of awareness within them that they almost feel trapped from being able to communicate who they are internally and effectively, because they feel like even they don't like themselves. And that's a big thing with this person. And I think one maybe major illuminating thing here is they do not have a good relationship with themselves. They have such a, oh, it's so sad almost, but it's hard, because not to just continue ripping this person to shreds, group 2, is there, I do want to send out a little bit of compassion here, because this is somebody who has really, really been through it. And so the amount of all these kind of situations that they experienced in past, like, this is somebody who's been rejected and sort of discarded by life over and over and over and over. And so that's how they operate, because that's all they know. And I feel like you may have been somebody who sort of showed them something, like kind of shed light on them, that something that they had never experienced before, some element of compassion that they hadn't ever genuinely experienced before. And they have this sort of awareness that something that maybe needed from you is sort of their authenticity. But if they provided that authenticity, they're worried about how it makes them look as a person. If they were able to sit down and go, yeah, I sort of knew that this would cause you emotional distress. I knew that if I did this, I would receive this response. I have that much awareness on these sort of deeper, lower vibrations. This person has spent sort of, gosh, it's so interesting, because the duality in this is like, I'm seeing somebody who's spent a lifetime sort of trying to understand the higher, like how to access the higher vibrations, and knowing what to do in order to stay in that vibration. And then seeing someone else at the very bottom of that who's sort of mastered the lower vibrational scale and knowing how to operate in that space. Wow. That's awesome. Am I allowed to talk about this? I don't even know. Okay. And then another thing that they aren't telling you is that they do feel that you deserve better. So they're seeing, they see you walking away, and they have this awareness that someone very could be able to provide you what they're not able to provide you, and that almost hurts more. There's a lot of deep-rooted pain within this person group too, and I don't think that it's all sort of this malicious underground of behavior. I think a lot of it is environmental. A lot of it is just being kind of bred in a very specific energy. All right, let's get into what they would say to you. Oh, man. I am so hoping that we can get out of this here soon. Oh, I understand why I'm in this collective. I've been through this, but it's just a lot. I really feel like that "don't wait for me" thing is sort of, it's interesting, because something about this person is that they do have this sort of these deeper feelings for you, and it's almost as though they want to protect you from themselves. There's also this kind of, I'm just going to say, there's a sense of delusion in this person, is that one hit is that this is sort of someone that we feel we couldn't come back from, and they, for some reason, think that, you might be going through this sort of, this self-love process where you're really kind of just disconnected from even being in any kind of connection at this moment, and they're so in their sort of delusion, they feel like you're waiting for them to change. So we have "don't wait for me, please. Emotions overwhelm me. I can't talk to you right now. I can't do this right now. People don't believe in me. I long for your kiss." I do feel like the one thing I want to say about this person with the "people don't believe in me" thing is, I feel like that's been a constant battle in this person's life, is that they've really just been sort of shut out over and over again. And I can understand, actually I do understand. I know what it's like to be in that space and see someone who is so sort of knocked down by life and so discarded, and not feel a tremendous amount of compassion for them. But at the same time, we have to understand that if we that these people can just create enablers out of us if they don't take the initiative to make those changes within self and really begin holding themselves accountable, truly, being able to face their fears and face the part of themselves that behaved the way that they did, or they're never going to step outside of that, because accountability is a pathway out. We have to hold ourselves accountable no matter how long it takes. I just had this moment the other day. I had this thing happen when I was sorry, I just saw this hair like out of the corner of my eye. Awesome peripheral vision. Okay. I had this situation happen years ago when I was a teenager where I hurt this girl's feelings. And I kid y'all not, I was in prayer the other day and I was ruminating on things that we haven't faced and things we haven't let go. And this girl's face popped up in my head, and I sat down and I wrote her an apology and sent it to her after like 20 years. It's like, so accountability really is this person's way out. And do they have the strength and courage to face themselves in that capacity when they've behaved that way? It's hard to say. It's hard to say because that's really, really hard to sit down and face ourselves and admit the parts of ourselves that were really harmful towards other people, and we knew it, So, oh boy. I feel for them though. I mean, I do have compassion for that collective of people because I don't feel like they receive a whole lot of compassion, and with good reason. They don't receive a lot of compassion because they just don't know how to operate in this world. It's really, really sociopathic tendencies. All right, secrets that group 2 is keeping from, I'm sorry, hold up. Let's go back. Secrets that group 2's person is keeping from them, please. They have so much passion for you. This is somebody who thinks about you a lot. It's almost as though they just look at this and it's sort of it's kind of giving the one that got away vibes. Group 2 is they're seeing this as they're just so, oh my goodness, they're so, I don't know, if they're super remorseful, but man, they miss this connection. They really miss this. They really feel like they had something that they messed up. They royally messed up. And it's kind of in this space of just pining. But I would say that it's sort of, I don't think they're probably telling you you're probably not even communicating with this person, realistically. They're keeping this locked down. Like, this is shadow work type stuff here. Yeah, and the traumatized came out. Definitely had the loner come out. I have the storyteller, meaning that I feel like your person is a liar. They have a tendency to lie quite a bit, and that's one of the things that has really tripped them up in their life. We have the loner, the partners, the romantics, the lustful, and the traumatized. So I feel like this is somebody who has kind of walked along this they haven't done it with intention. So they're on this isolated path. Gosh, y'all, this is a portion of society that is so rare. They're in this very small collective of people, realistically, who has been operating in this space. And this happens a lot to the masculine energies. Masculine energies within this sort of environment get pushed way down, and primarily because they're already being pushed down by society without us really wanting to acknowledge that. One of the ways in that they're getting pushed down by society is that everything is their fault, and the way that they get treated in connections, and the idea that they're expected to do all this in order. They're typically the ones that are expected to do all the change within connections, where someone else doesn't. It's like, it's that scenario where a woman in a connection would be like, I'm not changing for you. But yet in when we flip that around, he has to change all the time, you know, and there are things about all of us that we need to change, or there are other elements. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me tripped up here. Don't get it twisted that I'm saying that women are not also oppressed within our society. Like, of course they are, but to the same degree, I just don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that. And, you know, look at the ways in which men get treated in some connections, or the way they get talked to, or the way that, it's just, women would never tolerate that for themselves, and men are expected to tolerate that for themselves. So in addition to, if this is a masculine, in addition to having that reality, and then also being sort of pushed down in all the spaces in which they were expected, or they had an expectation of being sort of loved unconditionally, because that's the way it's projected to us, and they weren't. They were just discarded in all these spaces, discarded in, you know, in the family unit growing up, or really kind of cast aside, or not put in these, in, really not loved to the capacity that they should have been loved. They've been in a space for a really, really, really long time, and being expected to not operate that way is just a very naive assumption on us. And it's hard, because it's hard to know this about someone, and to have compassion for that, and also recognize that you could be waiting forever for them to move up vibrationally. They could very well stay there because it's so normal for them to be there. And it's just sad. It's sad what this system and how environment can really impact people, and what it can put them through. This is somebody who's really, like, deeply, deeply wounded. And it's just unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. All right, group 2. Sorry, this is a little bit heavier of a read. I'll put a disclaimer in the timestamps. If this resonated with you and you'd like to hear more from me in the future, I think we're going to switch up the next readings to be a little bit more, less about connections, a little more about kind of what people find attractive in you. There's some other topics that I've been kind of wanting to mix into these, to provide something else for my collective to listen to than sort of beating this dead horse within some of these connections. So if you are here and you'd like to come back for more, I'd love to see you here again. I love seeing your comments down below. Thank you so much for your support. Any amount of support that you provide me in this moment is beneficial and crucial to the growth of this channel. And I could not thank you more for your support. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much, Group 2. Have a wonderful day. Group 3. Hello, Group 3. Y'all, I feel like you guys are the reward for everything that I go through in Group 2. It's like, oh gosh, we bring her way down and make her, like, go into the muck in Group 3, just to then bring her all the way back up into Group 3's, or I'm sorry, we're in the muck in the Group 2 energy, and then we bring her all the way up into Group 3's energy, like, hey baby. And thank y'all for bringing me out of that, because whoo-wee, it can get heavy in Group 2 space. Group 3, my warriors, hello. All right, so what we're going to do today is we're going to tap into how this person feels about you. And baby, oh my goodness, I just love your energy so much. I could just sit in this. I could just stay right here and let my inner child be nice and safe and warm and fuzzy in Group 3's energy. And by the way, Group 3, your person also has that energy. And your person, oh my goodness, they just adore you. They adore you. I don't know if you know that, but they adore you. They look at you and they think that you're so strong. They're so proud of you. They're seeing something that you're doing, and they're like, yeah, that's right. That's my baby. Go do it. Like they're rooting for you. Like the love that exists within this space is so. Sometimes I wonder, group three, like why y'all are even here. It's like, do you just need it reaffirmed for you? Like, yes, that's right. I thought so. So I do think that y'all aren't communicating this. I think that your person is being kind of patient with you, but ooh. Okay. We just tapped a little bit into your person's energy. They do have a very, oh, they got a serious side. They have a very serious side. They have a daddy side. They have a side that's like, ooh, okay, ooh, better. It's sort of, okay, you know what it's giving me, group three, is sort of one of those spaces where you have a feminine or a female or whatever who's been operating in her masculine energy for a very long time, and she's good at it. She's good at operating in this space. She's a go-getter. She's tenacious. She's got all this tenacity in her, and she can get what she wants. And then this sort of stoic emperor type vibe comes in and is like, okay, yeah, you can get what you want, but you ain't gonna throw those little fits and tantrums on me, baby. It's sort of like this person kind of coming in and putting you in your place a little bit. And I think we're here for it. I think we like it. It's like, yes, what else? Now, there is this understanding, though, this person's not going to tolerate brat behavior either. So it's kind of, it's interesting because this is one of the few collectives where I feel like the person stumbling is actually the person viewing it. In all the other collectives, it's like, it's the other way around, but it's not in a bad way. It's like, it's genuinely like good growth that we need. And it's more of like stomping our feet. It's like, okay, like pouting a little bit about wanting, and first of all, your person finds that kind of cute. They kind of find it adorable and endearing, but they understand that things have to operate a certain way. Okay, so they see you as strong. They see you as really working through this. And again, they're really proud of you. Your person's got cheerleader vibes a little bit. They're very supportive of this, but also definitely stern and disciplined, and not somebody that's they're not going to coddle you unless you deserve it. Ooh, okay. Awesome. Okay, your person's energy is great. Okay, so what is group three's person not telling group three? Let's tap into them. Oh, goodness. They don't really. Okay, so one thing they aren't telling that is maybe a secret from you is like, if you're into this tarot reading stuff and you kind of tell them about it, I don't think they believe in it. I think they're kind of like, they're very, you know what's interesting? Okay, so I feel like they would be the kind of anchor in this situation and you would be the sails, where you could kind of pull them out of being a little bit more like immovable, and they could kind of bring you in to be a little bit more stable, is sort of the vibe here. And there's a part of them that is very just like not trapped in the 3D, but they operate really well in that space, and they see some of these sort of more I don't know, spiritual things that's kind of woo-woo and a little bit silly, but they don't have like, they don't think it's bad. They don't think that it's how do I want to say this? Is they don't think negatively about it, but there is this hit that they're like, oh, how do I want to express this? It's just they just don't really buy into it. You know, they kind of think it's a little bit silly, I guess. Okay. What is group three's person hiding from them? Less, please. Actually, well, no, we're not going to go there. I'm not going to try to decipher what out of there. What are they not telling you? Oh, let's do one more. Oh, come. Okay, I guess we'll do two more. What are they not telling you? Okay, you know what's interesting is what they're not telling you is that they're having a really difficult time in this sort of patient energy. I just want to bring this out here, this here and now, or this, I'm sorry, no place like home, because I do feel like they feel a very, like a deeper connection with you. But okay, so there's this, what they're not telling you is that there's something that they feel that you need to work on, but they don't want to be the one to tell you it. And it's really about this like kind of compassion for you. So there's something that, so, you know, and it kind of could have to do a little bit with that sort of like pushiness, right? Or that kind of bratty behavior that I was talking about. Is it could be something along those lines that they really feel like this is something that needs cleaned up. There's something, okay, I'm tapping into this energy and I've been avoiding it with this person, but there's something in their heart chakra. Like there's some kind of, it's something in the pit of their gut. There's something they're worried about. They're worried about something. They're really worried about it. And they're not informing you of this. We're going to kind of try to tap in to figure out what they're worried about. But I have breathe in the reverse, mending in the reverse, deep knowing in the verse. And it could be about this sort of, oh, okay. It could be sort of about this fear of the unknown a bit. There's something about you that I feel like they find you kind of unpredictable a little bit, and they're a little bit worried about that. There's something about you that they find is very and I don't want to say unstable either. This, what is this feeling? What is this? It's just like a weight in like the pit of their gut. It's like they have this gut feeling about something. But also, it's interesting because in addition to that, it's like there's some sort of, I don't even necessarily know if it's fear, but it could be, is that they feel really connected to you. They feel really like this is somebody who's, there's something about you that kind of reminds them of something from the past, something that they, somebody or something that was really endearing to them, or some kind of situation or something, some kind of behavior within you reminds them of something that makes them feel a certain way. Makes them, gosh, their secrets are deep, deep, deep. They're like, we ain't doing secret reading on me. Get out of me. Get out of my energy. You're not allowed here. We're gonna figure out what it is. We're gonna kind of like try to poke in there and see what it is, because I can't even connect into figuring out what it is. That there's something that is sort of weighing on them, that's pretty heavily weighing on them, honestly, and that they're just not communicating here. They could be sort of in this space of you know, it's interesting. It's almost as though they're kind of in this space of having faith. They're kind of worried that I don't know. It seems like they're worried that whatever kind of went down here isn't going to be fixed. There's a lot that they don't know. They have this sort of imbalance with the unknown. These cards are not helping me to understand what's going on at all. I'm just going to be very frank. I'm still not sure, and I don't like that. I don't like when I cannot tap in intuitively. Your person is being very difficult to reach today. Where are we going to go? Light seers? All right. Got a secret. What are they hiding in there? What is going on? Hang on, I dropped one. Oh. You know, your person could be very, 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 very good at keeping their own emotions on lockdown. So they're having this sort of inner turmoil surrounding some sort of negative karma and surrounding this sort of equal give and take and some sort of sense of stability. Oh. All right, let's see what the Nine of Swords, clarify the Nine of Swords. Ooh, this has got deep. All right, I'll explain it in a second. Oh. Did you walk away from this connection, or did they? Did someone walk away here? Because that's what the sort of, oh boy. I was not expecting all this. Bottom of the deck, they had the Four of Cups in reverse and the Tower. Wow. Okay. Okay. I wasn't expecting any of this. That explains a lot of why I was so confused. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what they're keeping sort of, okay, so there's two ways that this is playing out in a, it is either that what they're keeping sort of in this space is that they okay, well, I'm going to zoom out, okay? Because I'm not really, I don't know really who did what here. But what's going on is there is this conflict surrounding an ending within this connection, or someone walking away from it and being in the space of inner turmoil. It's one element is it feeling bad that we kind of walked away from this connection and the turmoil that it may have caused the other person. Another is sort of, feeling upset that someone walked away. Another element of this, and part of the secret, is they do feel like either you or they didn't see what was in front of you and was sort of looking elsewhere and not really looking into the space, and there's a guilt around that. I almost wonder if this is so interesting with your collective group, the three, is that oftentimes you're mirroring. So a lot of times it's so difficult to figure out who's who and who's feeling what. It's like you're feeling so similarly about a lot of the same, like the same situation. And what's really interesting about your connection is that it goes through ebbs and flows, where sometimes you're not in this sort of darker, this isn't dark, but in this, wow, this just heavier energy, right? And sometimes you're way up and really, you know, hopeful of this. And I think that you kind of are both going through that. But I guess since we're tapping into sort of the shadow aspects, is that, you know, one element is that y'all saw this as like a wish fulfillment relationship or a connection that could be really fulfilling. And it's just something happened here that really knocked y'all off balance, where we were kind of in these cycles of doing things that maybe used to work in other spaces and it didn't work here. And it's now being in this space of really feeling upset about that, about sort of the absence of equality and mutual respect, and going into this state of sort of isolation in order to stabilize not the relationship but ourself. And there's one element of just kind of walking away. And very abruptly this happened. That something that's really bothering him is how sort of quick and swift this sort of had an ending here. And not really wanting to express that there is quite a bit of turmoil surrounding this choice, where there's a lot of deeper feelings here about this decision to walk away. There's a lot of, these are so buried beneath the surface. This person definitely doesn't feel like somebody who would want anyone sort of picking into how they're feeling about this, because beneath this surface, they're feeling quite a bit of heartbreak by the way that this sort of panned out. Like, this is really somebody who definitely did not want to hurt you. And I think that some behaviors within this connection, I think y'all kind of hurt one another here, if I'm going to be frank on this. I don't think it was one-sided. And it seems, here's the thing about this group 3, is that some of these things seem so minor, but you all have illuminated them to the point that you're looking in on these things, like zoning in with tunnel vision, with like a magnifying glass almost, and not looking out and seeing the big picture of this connection and the rarity that it is to feel this way mutually about someone, and having this sort of mutual, because you already have mutual respect, ironically. But I think the interesting thing about it is that I think there was a point that you didn't, and this had to happen in order to form that. So it's not always a bad thing to go through these sort of moments or these hiccups within a connection, because sometimes they really teach us a lot about ourselves and about how our behaviors impact other people as well. And it's interesting, though, because what I think that maybe you don't know about this is that if you feel that way, so do they. They're feeling this, again, it's so difficult to tap into what side of the coin I am talking to, because you two teeter between sort of having very similar, I don't think you have similar external, or like, you're not similar in your ego, but in your energetic alignment, you operate so similarly. You're in the same energies when you're in the same fields. Your alignment is really off the charts. Realistically, it's very aligned, and the amount of compassion that this person has for you it's unwavering. They have an astronomical amount of compassion for you. And I think that's scary for them in some way. I think it's scary because it doesn't feel like there's been a whole lot of unity here. It's been a whole lot of fumbling over ourselves. And that's scary when you have that sort of connection with someone that you barely spent any time with, realistically, or you haven't given a whole lot of your energy, or even been able to tap into these deeper realms with, and been very sort of surfaced with. And then to have all of this in the underbelly of how you're feeling, this is a deep, spiritually healing connection. That's one secret that the universe, I think, is keeping from the both of you. So now you know. Thank you. Okay, let's move into what they would say to you. And then we'll do oracle messages. Gosh, that one was difficult to sift through, group 3. I'm sorry. Hopefully that resonates. Okay, what would they say to you? What would group 3's person say to you? I do have why is it that you love me in the reverse. I feel like it's intended to stay in the reverse. Because I think they're kind of building into an awareness on, some of this. Yeah, the passion I feel is overwhelming. I don't know how to handle this. I feel that, baby. You can feel that. Yeah, I do feel like you guys have kind of been in this separation stage, and this sort of loneliness that you have is just kind of with this. I wish to be like you, group 3. I think that you might be the one that's more like sort of vulnerably communicative in this space, or have been. And I think that one thing that they're keeping from you is that they wish that they could communicate like that as well, more vulnerably, without sort of being fearful of the ramifications of that. They're very aware that words can be used against people. Very, very aware. So if they do give you something, okay, here's a hit, is like any little amount that they give you, make sure that you're very appreciative of that, okay? Because it's going to be baby steps with this person. All right, what else do we have here? What would group 3's person say? Good. And I was going to bring this out too. I have, if I could go back in time, I would handle this differently. Here's the thing, is that no, you wouldn't, first of all, because you wouldn't have the awareness then if you were to go back. What you mean is, if I had the information that I know now, I would have chosen differently then. Well, the only way that you can develop that information is through the experience of it. So now we know, and I've talked about this in your collective before, is that it does feel like there's just a need to sort of start over, to sort of like wipe the slate clean and start from square one on the things that we learned. And then you don't have to come in with like all this communication of, I learned all of this when I was isolated by myself, blah, blah, blah. And this tarot reader told me, no. But, being in this space that's, just taking baby steps. And then at one point you will build the foundation upon those baby steps where you can have these conversations and be like, man, I didn't want to tell you, I've been waiting so long to tell you this, but I sat down and I really, like, this changed my entire perspective on how to love people, was shifted through this connection, and all these kind of things that then when you're ready to have those deeper conversations will come in a lot more naturally. All right, let me get you some oracle messages here, and then we'll close out your group. Close out your reading, group 3. Goodness. Yeah, communication seems to be, communication is an issue, and whenever there's a disconnect, it's always about communication. So, the persistence. Yeah, I do feel like this is a time for you to be, just kind of continue focusing on the goals and the things that, and look at the warrior came out. Don't you love seeing that confirmation? Y'all, I love tarot. Just confirmation. And the partners. I do feel like this is sort of one of those spaces of just, oh man, it's sort of like upgrading your life on your own and not entertaining anybody, because you're kind of in this space anyway of maybe needing to upgrade your life. And then you can kind of just be in this space with this person that, oh, I'm just going to bring these out. Okay, sorry. Being in this space with this person where you're just kind of loving them through the process and sending them good energy while you're kind of getting in a space of your own sort of stability and getting back on your feet. Because I think this connection did knock you a little bit off balance. And so, and you may have been really confident at one point, and then it kind of knocked you down a peg a little bit. And so, getting back in on, getting your footing here and really building into yourself a little bit to get back into that confidence and just kind of loving them through the process without putting too much expectation into the communication surrounding this connection, and continuing to work on self. I do see this as very much one of those scenarios that the work that you do, they do, kind of partnership. And here's the thing as well, is that even if this ends up sort of not panning out and this isn't necessarily the one, right? This work that you're doing is going to bring in that partnership that you're looking for. However, this connection feels very, the compassion here for one another is very strong. That is the, and a little bit of guilt in this too. Those are the strongest energies that occur in this connection when I tap into it. And that's really important to know. We have the uniter. I know love has come to unite me with my beloved. Amen. the initiator. I overcome resistance and do what must be done now. Yeah, there's something that I think you need to work on, and you just need to nip it in the butt. And this is sort of that confirmation, is like, get it done, and then we can come together. The teacher, a study and share wisdom with those who will value it. I think that, it's interesting, group 3, is I feel like you're teaching one another. I know this is about secrets revealed and how they see it, is that I do feel like they see you as somebody who's taught them quite a bit, but I just feel that's so mutual here. I feel like you also have, learned so much from them. Sorry, I just had this hit of this being sort of very twin flamey. And I was like, not gonna say it, and then I got tripped up in communicating, and I was like, well, I gotta explain the pause I just had. So, take that with a grain of salt, or however you want to, slice it. But that's just kind of this little hit that came through, is that maybe look into that if you don't know much about the twin flame journey. Twin flame gets really misconstrued in our society right now, where people are thinking that, someone maliciously abusing them is their twin flame, and that's just not how that works, because actually the missteps that we make cause us to really feel to work on ourselves, because we feel so bad about how it impacted the other person, and we have such a compassion, we send love through that. We don't send resentment, animosity, and we definitely don't hurt each other on purpose. So that's a much different vibe. So all right, group 3, if this resonated with you, please like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below. I love seeing your comments come in. They mean so much to me. Turn on the notifications so that you can be notified when new videos arrive, as I don't currently have a schedule. And yeah, leave, where am I going? I just appreciate y'all so much. This collective, y'all are so wonderful. Some of the comments that I receive in this collective, y'all are amazing. And I'm so grateful that you're here and supporting me. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, group 3.